All right, all right, all right. Back again, back again. All right. You are listening and viewing the Gen X Gentleman podcast. We appreciate you being here with us. My name is JB. That right there is my
Tell
boy Tell. How goes it? How goes it? How goes it?
goes well, man. I'm
Goes well.
blessed. I'm
All right.
blessed.
All right. All right. All right. All right. So we're gonna do a little something different today. This is something that I've wanted to introduce for a little bit. As y'all can see, I have my jersey on. This is a uh, replica Falcons jersey. I'm not so much a Falcons fan, but still, it's black. We back in black. There you go. All right, and this jersey right here is basically something that because we're going to be talking about a player that a lot of people maybe have forgotten, but he's been out of the league, out of the football league. An NFL player has been out of the football league for I want to say he's going on 4 or 5 years now. But he came in rough and rugged, did his thing, talked a lot of smack, and was in the league for 10 years, and then went off and did something else. And so we're talking about Chad Ochocinco. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. So, tell do you remember Mr. Chad Ochocinco?
He's more of a celebrity to me because I'm not a big football fan. I'll be honest. So
Okay,
I
okay.
know the big names because they're always in the limelight. Odell Beckham Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson, Colin Kaepernick.
Right, right,
Those, of course, Tom Brady,
right.
and all the way back to the days with Roger Staubach. But
Oh, you going back now? Whoo, you
yeah, that's
going
right.
way back.
I'm showing up my Gen X generation. Staubach and Mean Joe Green
Me and Joe
and
Green,
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw.
Those are the names I'm going to know. Even O.J. Simpson.
Oh boy, wow. But wait a minute, you didn't see O.J. Simpson play. You were
I
you're
watched. No, I don't think I was.
hmm. No, we
O.J.
we,
played,
we we didn't go that way back.
but he played in
You
the
might,
'70s. He
yeah,
played
but
in the '70s.
you weren't watching football in the '70s, were you? On TV?
I knew
I
about
mean,
O.J. He was big. He was big. He was
okay,
big.
I
He
only
was
knew
big.
I knew about OJ, but I only knew back after he retired he was doing those commercials, running, those
Yeah,
Hertz
yeah,
commercials. Yeah.
yeah. True indeed.
Mhm. I
No,
never
I
saw
mean,
him.
I'll be honest. I didn't really watch football much when I was a kid at
Right,
all. I
right.
didn't start
Neither did
watching a
I.
bit of it till I hit my teens.
Neither did I.
Um,
I watched it exactly in my teens when Monday Night Football first was brought up and introduced. My mother let me watch it because it just came out. Back in the late '70s, early '80s when Monday Night Football started. That was
okay.
when I got a chance to see more football than ever. You know what I'm saying? That's when it first started. So that was what I love. But today we're gonna talk about and get into Chad. Chad has had an interesting football career and after football career, and we
Mm,
kind of go through that. But one of the things I want to stress is his work ethic. This video that we're going to take a look at, you're having an idea of how this man looked at football, how dedicated he was to the game of football. So, without further ado,
okay.
let's take a look. Okay.
All right. Bring it.
All right. Let's do it.
And why you used to tell defenders what you were going to do before you actually did it?
So they understood that I was prepared that week. So actually the people on the outside understood how great I was when I played. You take away the annex, everything I've done over the years is overshadowed because of the annex. But people really don't understand how really great I was at my craft. To be able to go out there with the best of the best. Not only be out there with the best of the best, but tell the elite players, this is what I'm going to do, and then go out there and execute it the exact same way I said I'm going to do it. And it's not on myself because I'm relying on 10 other people for these plays to actually function like an engine. Everything has to be working in order for it to work. You don't just drop back and throw it to Chad. But that's the confidence I had in myself. That's the confidence I had in my teammates to be able to do that for a decade straight.
What would you say to the defenders?
Everything. Sometimes I would tell them my route.
Yeah, and when would you have these conversations? At the
If it
line of
was
scrimmage or
man-to-man,
before
at
that?
the line of scrimmage, if it was man-to-man. There's another thing. If you ever watch clips or you ever get a chance to talk to Marvin Lewis, I would come out the huddle and I would look at him and I would look at him and do this. And that would always be, I want you to watch me on this play. I would have conversations through sign language with Marvin Lewis in the middle of plays before the snap would even occur, letting him know, watch what I do to him. I really had such a fun time, and I was so focused and zoned in when I was playing, despite what the media or everyone else might see, because you see the finished product, you see the having the fun part, but you don't see there's a whole nother side that was never shown, probably because of the way I was.
How often would you sleep at the stadium?
Oh, you remember that?
I heard
that was fun. First two years, I was a little kid, young. And
First 2 years in the NFL.
Yeah, first 2 years I would stay at the stadium.
Why?
It was home. It was all I knew. It was all I knew at the time was football. My place. It was cool to be home, but then I was so engulfed in the game of football and wanting to just be great at my craft that I felt this was the necessity to be just that.
Where would you sleep?
In the lounge room. We had a lounge room. TV, video game, arcade machine. Couches were plush. It was dope.
How true is it that you would sometimes call coaches to talk strategy at 2 a.m.?
2, 3 in the morning, yeah. Because I was one of the few people that didn't club. I didn't go out. I'm in bed by 9:30, and I always call Coach Lewis 4 or 5 in the morning. Hugh Jackson, 4 or 5 in the morning. Bob Rakowski, our offensive coordinator, he got the most. He got it the worst, because I always had an idea, always had some type of strategy or something that I felt could help us. He would get it 2, 3, 4. It didn't matter what time it was.
And did they welcome the calls, or they like, what the hell are you doing?
They did. They knew what it was for, because I did it over an span of 10 years. This wasn't just, all right, I'm gonna do this week. No, this was all the time, consistently. So I was really part of the family in a sense.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So Chad had his day on the field, and as you got a chance to hear, this man was dedicated. Okay, the man literally ate, slept, and did his football, because the rumor is, or he's told the story, that he lived at the stadium. He literally, instead of having his own place, the man lived at the stadium, right? For 2 years, up until the fact that he, one of the coaches finally said, "Listen, dude, you got to get out of here." His third-year coach, Marvin Lewis, finally said, "You got to go and get your own place, man." But he was that dedicated in terms of his craft. And you heard him say in terms of he'd tell the defense, "This is what I'm going to do," but they couldn't stop him in terms of. Now, he was one of the worst teams. You remember the Bengals during that time? Do you remember the Bengals? They were one of the worst teams. And so he wasn't on a great team. He was never on a great team, all right? But he was able to transcend that team type thing because of his dedication.
He's a perennial figure.
Mm-hmm.
He was a superstar.
Right. His work ethic was there. Everything about him was there, and he even said that he didn't club, he didn't go out. You know what I'm saying? He was dedicated to that craft, dedicated to what he did on the field, and he didn't let anything cloud him. And I think football gave him a place to do his thing and the discipline. But once he was out of football, that's when a lot of things. That's when you say that's when you got a chance to learn of him being a celebrity, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, it took a woman to take him from where he was in his athlete status to then, and now everyone, you can Google what happened. Okay. Chad had a incident with his then girlfriend. right? I won't mention her name, but you can Google it, and um, it was turmoil. It's like he went from being this dedicated, awesome wide receiver in the NFL, and then he took up with this woman, and she brought his life down. She literally teared his life to pieces in terms of the things that he did. Do you remember what went on in terms of what happened? Do
I
you remember
heard
that?
there was controversy in the news, but I didn't really pay attention. I honestly didn't pay attention. I know there was controversy going on.
Okay, okay,
It was
all right.
was it a Spanish woman or
Yes,
okay.
yes, yes. Okay. Again, I'm not going to mention her name. Everyone can Google it. But she went from basketball player to football player to baseball player. She got the trifecta of dudes. Okay. And that who does that? You know what I'm saying? What woman does that when it comes to the fact that you and in your you know, I don't understand it. To me, it doesn't make any sense. But every
She,
good,
she's a gold digging whore. That's what kind of woman does that.
basically, basically, and every person she was with, it was turmoil. It was turmoil. It was turmoil. Every single one, and she married the first guy who was the basketball player, right? That's how she got her fame. She got her fame from the basketball guy. She was on a show called Basketball Wives. Okay, again, I ain't mentioning her name. Go Google it.
Who was the guy?
Who?
Who was the guy she married?
Which one? The baseball player or the basketball player?
The basketball player.
You know what? I'm forgetting his name. I am totally forgetting his name, but I'm going to tell you, based on what it is, it really actually doesn't really matter in terms of what the man is. But Chad went from a disciplined, dynamic, and dangerous, when I say on the football field, guy, to then getting with this woman, right? After she had already used up the basketball player, she went to the football player, and his life was just a wreck after that. Okay. The incident that did happen, I don't know if you remember, Tell, is when they had an altercation that came up. Do you remember? Do you remember the whole altercation thing
No,
that happened?
I know there's confusion, but no, go ahead and fill us in on it.
Well, basically, they had an argument, and in that argument, apparently Chad must have. I don't know. He doesn't drink. He doesn't. He doesn't do drugs or anything. It wasn't like an influence thing. He just had enough of her and her antics, and he headbutt her. Okay, and so that was kind of like his. I'm not sure why he would do that. Now I don't condone anything in terms of violence, especially against a woman, but he headbutt her, and unfortunately, I think he had to spend at least a night in jail or something like that, whatever. But of course, that was the beginning to the end of their relationship. And he got the hell away from her, thank goodness. And then she went from him to a baseball player. So, like I said, this chick got the trifecta of men who she was gold digging on and becoming this person. But it just goes to show this man was on the straight and narrow, right? Straight and narrow based on all the things he did, and she ruined his career. He was still in the NFL when they had that incident. After the incident happened, they washed their hands of him, and he tried to come back, but everybody was remembering what went down with him and his girlfriend at the time. Okay, so you don't condone, of course, any kind of abuse whatsoever when it comes to women. This right here, though, again, to hear him tell it, he just had enough. He had enough.
It sounds to me like there was abuse to him. Women are notorious for verbal abuse, and they also commit physical abuse.
That's from what I'm hearing, from what I remember. Yes, I think there was some on both sides is what happened. Okay. You know what, man? I didn't realize it, but he did marry her. He did marry her. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna say her name. Evelyn Lozado.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember that name, but her name was Evelyn Lozado. Okay? She went from him. Okay, she went from the basketball dude was, I'm gonna tell you who the basketball guy was too. All right. Lozado. Basketball guy and the football guy in the thing that went with her was, hold on. Here you go. She was with Antonio Walker. Guess what? Chad was the only one she married. I thought she married the other two, but they were partners.
Antonio Walker.
Antonio Walker. I'm sorry, Anton Walker. Oh, from the Antoine Walker.
He was with the Celtics and then
the Celtics. Right. She was with him. They were partners, I guess, from 1998 to 2008 for like 10 years. So she started with him, and apparently then she went to Ochocinco, married him, right? And then ended up with Carl Crawford. Remember Carl Crawford, the baseball player? He was on the Dodgers. Yeah, he was on the Dodgers. So just imagine what other woman goes to every league and gets a man from every league, every major league.
So, it says a lot about the man to choose this woman.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I'm not putting all the stuff on her, right? But she's the catalyst based on all of the stuff that went on, where again, her turmoil and all the things that she decided to do with all these men, right? Mm-hmm. So, but she only married Chad. I'm surprised. I got it wrong. I thought she married the baseball player and the basketball player, but apparently Chad was the only one that married her.
She whooped him. He got whooped.
I guess.
That was probably the best thing he was pulling. And it speaks to a lot of the weakness of these men she chose. I'm sure she chose
them well. She chose them well. Yes.
She targeted a lot of men, but she could only get the weak ones. That tells you his weakness if he's going for a gold digging whore. She they simped for her.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
It speaks to the character of those guys, because if she's not a good woman, that tells me at that point in time, they're really not good men either.
Well, she was a major opportunist. If you saw the show, The Basketball Wives, oh my gosh, Lord!
I know what that stuff's about. Those shows are garbage.
Yes. Well, they are, but they sell so well to people. I mean, just have to watch these shows. Okay, it's ridiculous on how these reality shows. They're not really reality shows. They're literally scripted. They make everything up based on the fact that they want all of the antics. Okay, that's what happens, right? But for him to choose her, that's like another thing. Like, he chose her and chose her to marry her, right? Knowing what she did with Antoine Walker, right? It's like,
that he I don't know anything much about him, but it would speak to me that he had a lack of a good male role model in his life when it came to understanding women.
Right.
And not to speak bad about the man's mama or anything, but his mama was probably a poor standard of a woman as well, in regards to showing him you should be looking for women like this.
But you would have thought that he would have carried over some of his discipline and some of his dedication that he had to his craft and been able to, negate and not be with someone like that, because she was toxic from jump. Okay?
No, but you got to understand, he's extreme. No relatively normal, balanced man is going to be so engulfed in that craft to be living at the stadium. That's extreme.
It is extreme.
That's extreme. It really isn't normal what he did.
It's almost like he. It's almost like
obsession, obsession to a very unhealthy. And
And it was,
it's a turn off and off-putting to normal functioning people. I
well,
don't think he had. I don't know, but I wouldn't think he would even have too many close friends that are normal functioning that would
right,
actually condone him doing that. He
right,
would only
right,
have a bunch of yes men because he's Chad Ochocinco Johnson.
right, right. And he probably felt, sheltered there. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like that was his little cocoon that he could just come to and stay at and do his thing. Yes, he was dedicated, but you're right. It's
That
not.
was
It wasn't
extreme.
extreme. It
That,
wasn't really normal.
that's not normal and healthy. And
It was
then
normal.
when he
And
probably tried to finally release and
hmm
relax, he took it to another extreme with the release and relax, and he got hoes and whores.
yes, yes.
So there was
Unfortunately.
no balance there for this man. He went from one
Mm-mm.
extreme to the next.
Yes, yes, he did.
And it's
And
understandable. We all have our
we
weaknesses.
everybody, all of us have weaknesses like that, bro. Oh my goodness, we've
Mhm.
we've gone through it just based on the thing that happened. But just again, I just wanted to highlight. This is it. That's all. That's all I wanted to say on this subject. Just wanted to pay some homage to Chad, his life. He's like you said, him more as a celebrity than a football player, but he was a damn good wide receiver. I just wish he would have got on the team and got himself a ring before he got, you know, blackballed out of the league because of those antics, right? So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. We had our mark. So thanks again for joining us. Again, we are your Gen X gentlemen. This is something that we're going to do on a regular. The fact that we're going to bring you different types of subjects, different types of people. Today we talked about Chad Ochocinco and him leaving football and going into something really traumatic based on the things that he had to deal with this woman at the time. You know what I'm saying? Again, we don't condone any kind of violence based on what went on, but we look at this and say he was up against this situation, and we're so glad that he got out in terms of the things that went down.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
hmm And so he's a better person, most definitely. And who knows what's going on with Miss Loaza. Other than that, man, you got any parting talking points?
No, this is not my area of expertise. This is more so yours.
Well,
Unless
you brought
we're
it.
talking about
You brought it. You
unless
brought
we
it.
talk about specific NBA or tennis players.
hmm
I don't know too much about the football players and
Well,
baseball.
you brought it when it came to the relationship. You understand those things that go on, and
Yeah.
based on the toxicity that Chad had to go through, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Right. So anyway,
Sounds like
that
it sounds. You know what it's reminding me of?
was that.
Scottie Pippen and his wife.
Ooh, we can go there one day. We can, if you know Scotty, you weren't what happened with him. Boy, oh boy, we got to go there. We can definitely go on that one. So we gonna
Sounds
have to
like that.
we're gonna have to revisit this version of a sports player or something with a sports, but more a person that you know Scotty a lot better. So let's make that happen.
She's definitely for the streets.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, this is a wrap. We appreciate you being here. We'll also appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe to us.
Yes,
Tell them,
please
man. hmm
hit that like button, and if you really know what's good for you, you're gonna subscribe because I'm gonna
Yes.
keep bringing the smoke.
hmm
I'm mellow tonight, but even when I'm mellow, I say some sharp things. But
yes.
it's about to get really heated. We're gonna blow up YouTube. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get y'all in on a little secret right now. With all of the stories that I have coming, all of the topics that I have to tackle, both JB and myself. You think Kevin Samuels did it? I'm about to give you a promo.
RIP, 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 RIP.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes, Kevin. I respect that man for what he started. He lit a match in a lot of us that we were bubbling and boiling deep down inside of us. We wanted to get it out. Didn't have a vehicle to do so, and he was the man at the forefront of this. So as much as I wasn't in agreement with several things he said, I am so grateful that he he did stand up for us as men and definitely for Black men.
Mm.
He loves our race. He's disappointed in us as a people for the bad decisions we've made to really go through some deplorable things, and what we're continuing to do so right now. Men, we shouldn't be allowing these gutter ways to be occurring in our race with the women. And the women, they've got to wake up. Our sisters have got to wake up. And it's not all, but I would, if I was to quantify it, I'll say it's more than 50%.
Mm.
I'll say it's in this Western culture of Black women. And it's their mothers, our mothers have failed us, and some of our fathers too have failed us.
Mm-hmm.
And we cannot afford to be failing at the rate that we are. We already have the system against us. It's been put against us, and they set
Yep.
us up this way, and we've fallen for the okie doke.
Yep.
So what we have coming, it ain't gonna be nothing nice. I'll probably end up creating a lot of enemies, but at the same time, I think I'll be saving a lot of people or helping to save. I'm not acting like I'm some savior, but when you impact the people in the right way, sometimes you have to talk to people on their level, and that's what I'm gonna do. And
Yep.
I'm speaking from the heart when I do it. So
Mm-hmm.
stay tuned.
He's gonna bring it. He's gonna bring it. Okay. All right. Well, again, we thank y'all for joining us. We appreciate your being here. We are so wanting to do this more and more. So that's why we need your support. Like,
Yeah.
subscribe, hit the bell for when we upload again. Our schedule, we're going to try and do this at least 3 times a week. Okay. Try and see about getting, and if we can do more, we will. But the main thing we're going to do is get this content out 3 times a week. And that dedication will show you our dedication. We want to then gravitate to you, and we hope that you can join us on a regular. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So again, we are the Gen X gentlemen. We are doing this, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right.